So what we're going to talk about today are chatbots. Has anybody really heard about a chatbot, used a chatbot before? We've probably all actually used a chatbot. Chatbots actually use this thing that we call natural language processing, or NLP. It's a lot like an LLM that we talked about the week before last when we did our first live activity. So when you talk to like Siri, or when you ask ChatGPT a question, you search your email for a specific word or a specific person, right? My computer's working with a language, which is actually pretty cool, pretty impressive, because human language is actually really messy. We use a lot of slang, we use a lot of abbreviations, and there's a lot of context and nuance when you're talking about human language, right? So the fact that a computer actually understands what you're asking it is actually really, really impressive. Natural language processing, or what we call NLP, is an area of artificial intelligence that allows these computers to read, to understand, to kind of generate this human language, right? So it is a branch. Hope, there we go. Hope got it kind of figured out, maybe. There we go. Okay, sorry, we're trying to run two slideshows at once here because we're recording for Dr. Hand as well, sorry. So natural language processing, NLP, is technology that helps these computers kind of make sense of the text, make sense of the speech, the way that humans do, right? So natural language really just means the human language. That's what they're talking about. When they say a natural language processing, they're meaning natural human language processing, okay? Again, human language is messy, it's complex, it's nuanced, it's full of context, right? So for business professionals, especially in the accounting field, what NLP means is that we're turning these kind of unstructured texts into usable information that helps computers handle the words around numbers, right? That's what we're looking for. How do we handle the words that we're using around the numbers, okay? For example, let's say that I'm a supervisor at an accounting firm, and I go to one of my staff accountants and I say, hey, I need you to record that expense for the next period. Humans know, that human knows what I'm talking about. When I say record that expense for the next period, the human knows what I'm talking about. The computer doesn't. The computer can't really make a whole lot of sense of that, right? So, you know, the human knows when, the human knows where, the human knows why, but the computer doesn't. And that's where we use NLP to help make sense of that command. Okay, so some examples of using an NLP that you guys use pretty much on a daily basis. How many of you guys text every day? Everybody's hand should be up, right? Everybody in this room sends text messages every single day. Some of you are sending them right now as we're sitting here in class talking. That guy's got his hands on his phone sending a text message, right? Everybody, autocorrect is NLP, all right? Autocorrect is natural language processing. So you're already using it on a daily basis, okay? Voice to text on your phone. I've got, in my PhD cohort, some of them are, and this is going to shock you. I know that I'm basically elderly, but there are a couple of them that are older than me even. A couple of them, one of the guys is like in his late 50s, and he talked to text everything he does. So you're sitting in a restaurant with him, you're sitting in the middle of class with him, and he's talk to texting everything, right? Again, that's NLP. So there are all of these different natural language processing things that we use on a daily basis. You don't realize, though, that you're using them, okay? Accounting is very, very language heavy. Like I've told you guys on several occasions already, we use words very specifically and very purposefully in accounting. When we write in accounting, everything we do, every word we use is with a purpose. We don't use wasted language. So we're very specific, we're very language heavy, right? There are a lot of standards that we have. We have this thing called the Accounting Standards Codification. It's awesome, right? It's hundreds and hundreds of thousands of pages long. It is codified, well, maybe not quite that long, but it is tens of thousands of pages long, right? And we've got to be able to dig through that, right? When a client asks us a question about accounting, we've got to be able to say, well, this is what the FASB codification tells us we should do. This is how we should treat this particular transaction. That's very language heavy,